I got to introduce you to June, our president, too.
August 27th, 2011, sunshine. I hear rifles firing, cannon firing. It's the day before the big storm Irene is supposed to get here, a big hurricane. In case you don't remember whenever this program was on the air, but it's absolutely perfect today. And we've come to the Evergreen Cemetery in Keeseville with our dear friend Sandy Connell. Sandy, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
Some time ago, you sent me a little note saying, you got to come to the cemetery in Keeseville. We've got something very special planned. You're a member of this association, aren't you?
Yes, I am. I'm vice president of the Evergreen Cemetery Association.
It's a wonderful group out here, and as many of our viewers know, we are launching into what will be for the next 4 years the sesquicentennial of the Civil War. And our viewers, if they don't know by now, they should, that we had a lot of combatants in the Civil War from this area, and this cemetery holds quite a few.
Yes, it does. We have at least 55 plus Civil War veterans here. And that's just the Civil War veterans. We have veterans from, like, the Korean War, World War I, World War II, all the wars and the rebellions here.
You know, my wife and I have always taken great pleasure in stopping at old cemeteries and looking around. And I know you've been involved in genealogy since you were about 5 years old.
Not quite that young, but since the 80s, the early 80s, I started.
So cemeteries are important, aren't they, that way?
Oh, yes, very, very. You can find a lot of research, your ancestors and people that are connected to people. It's very interesting.
How many of your ancestors are here?
In this cemetery, my mom and dad and brothers are here, and my great-grandparents are here, and aunts and uncles probably.
How about Civil War era? Anybody?
Nobody Civil War that I'm sure. Not from this area. On my mom's side, there's Civil War veterans down in, like, Dutchess County.
Oh, no kidding.
Mm-hmm. So,
but I bet you there are some familiar names among the 55 or so Civil War veterans buried here.
Oh, lots of them, but...
Yeah. Isn't that amazing?
Yes, yes.
So what's happening? Why are we here today, Sandy?
We are here today because Greg Furness started a long time ago buying Civil War markers, putting them on the graves, taking the money out of his pocket, putting them on the graves himself. And then that sparked an interest where we decided that we would ask Dick Rock from the Elks Club, or June was mentioning to Dick Rock from the Elks Club about getting more markers. And he said that he would check into the situation, and he and Dan Barber from the VFW got together and they purchased another 45 markers plus for us.
Isn't that wonderful?
And so we are going to get them presented to us today.
So
we're going to thank them.
Oh, yeah. And I understand that Woodmen of the World was involved in donating the flags.
Yes, they donated all the flags, and every year they donate flags to us if we need new flags.
Isn't that terrific?
Yes.
Are there other veterans groups involved in today's ceremony? I think maybe the VFW will be here,
yes,
right?
The VFW will be here. The Elks Club is here. The New York 16th volunteers are here.
No kidding. Wonderful.
And I believe the American Legion Color Guard's going to be here also.
I don't, I've stood in the cemetery before for burials, but I didn't realize it was this big. Do you have any clue how many people are buried here? This is a large cemetery.
Oh my gosh, yes it is. And it also goes down into the ravine there.
Oh my goodness.
We have an older cemetery part up there. So I would say 5,000.
No
I'm not
kidding.
sure.
Who knows?
2,000.
There are so many great old cemeteries here in the North Country, and this is just one. There are several right in Keeseville, right?
Yes, there is. There's the Catholic Cemetery, two Catholic cemeteries, the Immaculate Conception and St. John's Cemetery. We have Old Burying Ground also.
Oh, yeah.
And then going out of town is the All Sable Chasm, which is part of Keeseville.
Of course.
So that's a lot of cemeteries.
How long have you been involved with this group?
Probably about 3 to 4 years now.
Oh, it's a lot of hard work, but it's worth it, isn't it?
Yes, very much.
Especially when your ancestors are here.
Yes.
So tell us briefly what's going to happen today, Sandy.
Well, we are going to have some speakers from the Dick, I think, is going to speak from the Elks, and then we're going to have Danny Barber speak from the VFW. In June, our president is going to say a few words, and hopefully we're going to have a little background music, and we're going to have some color guard, and I think we're going to have firing of the muskets too.
Yeah, you picked a perfect day. I'm glad you didn't pick Sunday.
I know.
Here come some of the reenactors right now, and isn't that right on cue? Wasn't it very nice of them to show up when we needed them? We're recording this at about 8 minutes before 9 on the 27th of August, 2011. The official ceremony commemoration is scheduled to get underway roughly at 9 o'clock this morning, and that's a good day for that. And tomorrow we'll be battening down the hatches, right, Sandy?
Yes, we will. Getting ready for Hurricane Irene.
Irene, she won't affect you up on your hill. I'm sure she won't.
I hope not.
Thanks so much for being with us here today. You got somebody. Oh,
can I bring the president over?
Yes, go and bring your president over here. Get over here. We need you. How can you help but smile on a day like today? Who are you?
June Vanette.
June, I'm so delighted to see you here today.
Thank you.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
see how you go?
But my name is June. I'm not Ed's wife. I'm June.
See how you go? My wife says the same thing too.
Yes. Yes.
So is this a good day or what?
It's a gorgeous day, and it's a wonderful day. It is.
Why is it important to do what we're doing here today, June?
Well, it's been 150 years since the start of the Civil War.
I wasn't even born then.
And so now it's our opportunity to honor them with these flag holders, and they'll be honored every year from now on. All of them. All 55 plus of them that is buried in the cemetery.
It's good that it was done. We've honored these veterans many times in the past in all these cemeteries, but this to really pinpoint them today is important.
Is important. It's very important. And this is a very important year. It just all happened to come together at the same time, not really planned. It just worked out this way.
Sometimes it works out that way in spite of us, doesn't it, June?
Absolutely, yes, it does.
You know what the best part of this whole thing is? Since Calvin and I have started to think about this sesquicentennial, 150th anniversary of the beginning of the Civil War, so many wonderful things have been uncovered in people's drawers and closets and bureaus.
Yes.
Wonderful old letters that we've been reading on the air, and I just discovered some more. Lee Parati's wife right up on the hill outside of Morrisonville has an ancestor who was in the Civil War from this area, and dozens of letters and newspaper articles.
Wonderful.
And his name was Philip Hoyt, I believe, my memory, because I'm old, June.
True.
I think he was actually handcuffed to the body of John Wilkes Booth.
Really?
After they shot him and burned the barn, they put him on a tugboat, and they were so afraid somebody was going to steal the body, they handcuffed this soldier to the body so that it wouldn't be stolen.
Oh.
Now, is that a piece of Civil War history?
It certainly is. It certainly is.
This will be a public plea for those people to allow me in their house to read those letters. I've seen them, but without Calvin.
Oh, okay.
And, sometimes we procrastinate.
Yes.
But it's time to get these things out in the open because these are all marvelous stories.
Right. I found a letter at home from a relative, and he was there with his brother. They had joined the World War together. They're buried here in the cemetery now. And the letter said, "Oh, Mother, I am so scared. Henry, I don't know where Henry is now."
Oh, boy.
And they were like 18-year-old kids.
Oh, boy. Well, we've read so many of those letters. We did a great show at the library up north, the Northern Tier, with our friend Dr. John Southwick, and read these letters, and they were, some of them full of joy, some of them full of pathos, and later letters from doctors and clergymen saying that he didn't make it.
Right.
And boy, oh boy.
Yes.
Boy, oh boy.
Yes. Okay. Can I give you this? This is kind of what I'm going to be saying.
Oh, you're going to give your speech today.
And
we'll be there to hear. We'll be there. Good thing you stay calm.
You know, Gordy, up until probably 97 when they started doing the Battle of Plattsburgh reenactments and such, we never saw many reenactors in our area. But now we just, everywhere we look, they're there.
And it builds to a fever pitch toward September 11th for sure. But now there are reenactors who have about 7 sets of uniforms in their closets, and some of them reenact specific groups and organizations involved with various wars, and some like to do them all. And I commend these people because it's a generous contribution and a commitment of time and money,
Yeah, it certainly is.
So here we are again, and great to have them here. June is ready to begin. Trying to get the microphone set up. Beautiful sunshiny day, late August 2011.
Good morning. There. We'll start off with the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Dick Rock.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Marking the 150th anniversary of the beginning of the Civil War, I'd like to welcome you to our Civil War flag holder presentation. Every year, Woodsmen of the World have donated flags that are placed on the grave sites of all veterans in this cemetery. The flags are put out before Memorial Day and removed after Veterans Day, November 11th. Thank you, Woodsmen of the World. I don't know where you went to. I'd like to introduce you first to Greg Furness, gentleman over here. He's the gentleman that started bringing the Civil War flag holders to our cemetery every year. We have 55 plus Civil War veterans buried here. Dick Rock jumped at the chance to help us obtain more flag holders. Dick asked the Keeseville VFW and Keeseville Elks to purchase 45 more holders, and we thank you for this. Present with us is Carol Martin, Exalted Ruler of the Elks Club, Dan Barber, Commander of the VFW, Gary Liberty, Woodsman of the World, and the 16th New York Volunteer Company C reenactors, First Sergeant Charlie Mitchell, Private Craig Russell, Private John Dodge, Private John Betch, Private Joe Stemper, and Corporal Noel Stewart, and Private Calden Mitchell. Carol, would you like to say a few words?
Yes, I heard that. America is typically referred to as the land of the free. It was not always this way. Before the Civil War, the southern states commonly practiced slavery. In 1860, Abraham Lincoln campaigned against the expansion of slavery beyond the 11 southern states. In 1861, the Civil War ensued, and the bloody battle continued for 4 years. Today, it remains the deadliest war in American history, with the loss of over 620,000 lives. These brave men fought for freedom for all, which has become the cornerstone of our nation. Today, Keeseville Elks Lodge 2072, VFW Post 1505, and Woodmen of the World would like to honor these brave men. We are donating these Civil War markers and flags to the Evergreen Cemetery Association, so each Civil War grave is marked for all to see and honor the brave men who helped fight for freedom and shape the future of America.
Thank you, Carol. Dan, would you like to say a few words, please?
Good morning. Good morning. It gives me great pleasure to tell you how honored I am to be a part of this historical event.
This ceremony is long overdue in honoring those who fought for freedom from slavery. In 1840, the Underground Railway began smuggling escaped slaves from the South to freedom in Canada. By placing markers on each of the Civil War veterans' graves, we can better be aware of the sacrifices that have been made by these brave individuals. I would like to take this opportunity to thank everybody involved in bringing this event forth. This is a very special occasion, and I thank you all for being here. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Gary Liberty, Woodman of the World.
Good morning. Woodman of the World, just to tell you a little bit about who we are. We're a 120-year-old fraternal benefit society that was founded with the dual purpose of helping protect America's families from financial hardship. We do life insurance and financial planning, and to help and to provide an opportunity to be involved in the communities. And as I mentioned earlier, we like to do these sort of events. I'm actually a veteran myself, 20-year veteran of the military, so we certainly appreciate what you folks do to honor the veterans. And we are proud to donate 300 flag grave markers and a new flag for the flagpole. We appreciate everything you do for the community and for the cemetery and for the veterans. So we are handing out a few brochures on who we are and what we do. We have a lodge here in the area. We have 1,200 members right now. We'd love to grow the membership. If you didn't get one of the flyers, you can tell who Julie is with the Woodman shirt on. She'll be handing them out. But again, thank you very much. We appreciate the opportunity to be here. We've donated about 2 million flags now in our history, and we'd like to keep doing that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gary. Would anyone else like to say a few words? Did that come over? Would anyone else like to say a few words? Okay. We'll now have the color guard from the American Legion of Ausable Forks, Post 504, with Ned Hoy, Ron Leggetti, Jeff Houston, and Ron Desatel. They'll fire a 3-shot volley followed by taps.
Now, face. Order, arms.
That concludes our program. We want to thank everyone for coming. The reenactors will be here for a while to answer any questions, and there's some information inside on the table. Please feel free to walk around and visit the Civil War sites and the cemetery. Thank you.
We captured Gary, the Woodman representative. You didn't have to dress up for me today. Look at this. Sharpest guy on the grounds today. How are you, Gary?
Very good, thank you.
This is very nice.
Yeah, we enjoy doing this. This is a wonderful thing that the association does for the veterans, and Woodman is proud to participate. We are a very patriotic organization to begin with, so we enjoy being here.
Isn't it great when you walk through these cemeteries on Memorial Day or any other day and see the flags and the flag holders?
Yes. You know, these folks pay a great sacrifice so we can do what we do and be here today, so it's great to honor them.
So what lodge are you connected with?
Lodge 1016 here in Plattsburgh.
That's great. A lot of people who watch this program may not be familiar with Woodmen of the World, so it's very nice that you gave us a little background and explanation. It just happens that I've been connected with Woodmen for many, many years. When I worked in the radio business here, a guy who walked in one day and said, "Let me tell you about Woodmen of the World." I bought insurance that day and been hooked up with them ever since.
Right. Again, as I was mentioning earlier, the dual purpose when they became an organization as a fraternal benefit society was to protect America's families from financial hardship and to provide the opportunity to be participants in the community. So as a 120-year-old organization, we hope to carry that on for many years to come.
A lot of people, based on the Woodman magazine, for a long time thought the Woodmen of the World was only prevalent in the southern portions of New York State.
Right.
I noticed we're getting a few pictures in up here every now and again, and that's great.
Yeah, and the organization is growing, and that's a good thing. The more and more people that we can have to participate and do the community activities, it's a great thing. We're now involved quite heavily with the Relay for Life, the American Cancer Society Relay for Life, and the Heart Walk, the Heart Walk, and wanted to do more events as well.
You know, a lot of people don't know that the guy behind that camera there, Calvin Castine, has had a connection with Woodmen of the World for many, many years, and it was a long time ago that he and I met in that respect and talked about Woodmen, and we've talked a lot about Woodmen ever since.
Yeah, I'm aware of Calvin. I haven't had the opportunity to work with Calvin, but I've talked to several folks who did, and did a great job with us at that time.
You couldn't pick a better day than today for this, especially the day before Irene is supposed to get here. Look at this sunshine.
I know, the good Lord looked down on us and took good care of us today.
Do you live here? Where do you live?
In Peru, yes.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
Not a bad place to live, right?
No, enjoy it very much.
We're so glad to have you here today. Thank you so much for bringing those flags today and for what you do for Woodmen all the time, Gary.
All right, thank you for having us. We appreciate it.
See you later.
You bet.
Carol Miller, exalted ruler.
Actually, Carol Martin.
Martin?
Martin.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Carol. You and I have never met, have we?
I don't think so.
Well, it's about time.
There you go.
You gave a very good speech here today.
Thank you.
First female exalted ruler since the organization of the group 55 years ago. Is that true?
Correct. Keeseville's never had a woman ER before, so I am the first. Honored to be the ER. We're very dedicated to the Elks charities. We're very dedicated to the veterans, so this seemed like a very nice fit today, the Civil War markers. And actually, our goal is, in the long term, is to partner with the VFW and get Civil War markers for all the cemeteries in the local area.
Won't that be wonderful?
So we'll pick so many each year to do, and we want to continue our work.
How long have you been with the Elks Club?
I have been a member of the Elks Lodge for 5 years, but I've been a spouse of an elk for 16 years. My father's an elk. My stepfather was exalted ruler in Plattsburgh as well as Florida and a state vice president.
Yes, of course.
So my family has a rich history of the Elks.
And this is, what a great group down here in Keeseville. I always love this group. I've come down and talked about ghost stories and all kinds of stuff down here.
They're very motivated. Yeah, very motivated. We have a great team of members up here in Keeseville, and they're always dedicated to help the community, to help our youth, to help our veterans, to help with cerebral palsy. So they're a very dedicated group.
And that was a good speech you gave today.
Thank you.
This is a beautiful cemetery, really. It is.
It is. It is. We're very proud to be part of this event today. Like I said, we want to continue to do this work with the VFW and Woodsmen of the World going forward. So, maybe in 10 years, all the cemeteries in the North Country will have Civil War markers.
Won't that be nice?
Yes, it will be.
Carol, nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
You too.
Thanks for being here. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, that pretty much concludes our experience, and a wonderful experience it was here at the Evergreen Cemetery on Main Street in Keeseville today. Perfect sunshiny day on August 27th, 2011. Great speeches, great idea. Good to have the reenactors here and taps and so on. And it's very important that we commemorate the lives of all of our veterans. And the Civil War is especially important toward the formation of our country, horrible conflict that it was. So many things were ultimately resolved when the war was over. And to have 55 combatants from the Civil War buried buried here in the Evergreen Cemetery is quite something. I want to remind our cable viewers that they'll be seeing other things connected with the Civil War and after this program. For those people who are watching this program on the internet, we thank you so much for watching that and hope you watch all of our other programs in the future. Thank you all for your contributions, your monetary contributions, your suggestions, and all of your comments. We enjoy what we do, and who knows where we're going to be next time for our little corner.